The intricate body of runes, hooves, bones, blood, roots, rocks and tides are a language. Just because you do not speak it, it doesn't make it evil, wrong or less real. There was a time when magic gave us comfort, solace, reassurance, support, when sailors, hunters, farmers came to the woman in the fire to cast bones in order to tell them, give them a forecast of their time left to come. The woman in the fire is a woman of transformation, of birth, change and transitions people of old sacrificed to every day. A woman who would gather herbs and brew them, who would find connection, meanings and freedom in liminal spaces, in the impermanent, where memory, old tales, echoing in the sound of the compact snow under the reindeer hooves became reality. There is a woman in the fire. The ancestors of my lands called her Saraka. This woman played a key role in people's life cycles. She was always present. She was the one able to read the branching pattern of antlers, the coloring, the stance of the reindeer. For how much all of this may sound poetic to you, this tale is a tale of knowledge first, totally essential to survival. This is a tale of a woman who would just simply not take what she wants and discard the rest, where her relationship with the land is not merely reciprocal, it is symbiotic in nature. And the sacred is not symbolic, but utterly immanent in all things, manifest in the land, animals, people, and the gods. The woman in the fire represented the very core of human life and was located in the hearth, the central fire, in the middle of the lava. Both men and women sacrificed daily to her by throwing some of their food and drink into the fire pit, so to ensure the well-being of families, humans and animals. She was of nature, and her so-called Nor-sending could and can be felt as the cold and frozen winds. Havvær was the enchantment for good winds. Landvær was the enchantment for the unforgiving offshore winds, which would make the undulating underwater forests uprooted. Why couldn't you? Our nature up here is a nature which dominates our vast frozen lands, swept by the north winds. To show reverence for her, menstruating women took off their traditional belt and collar. Women had a huge role in both the spirituality and society of the ancestors of my lands, since it was women who first tamed the reindeer. They were thought to have a greater right to inherit reindeer compared to men. Although women activities seem to rotate around the life in the lavo and the tendering of the reindeer, the hunt was conducted to the same degree by women as by men. Women had a very strong role also in sorcery. Women's divination was indeed of great importance in ancient communities up here. Women could control the weather and cure illnesses. Once there was a large forest fire. The fire threatened to destroy the fine reindeer pasture. She threw a veil over her head. She began to sing. She struck the ground 3 times with her stick with brass trimmings and beat the drum to conjure a thunderstorm that came and extinguished the fire. She knew her reindeer in a special way, and she asked to be buried where the reindeer treads and where the clattering of hooves can be heard. On the evening when she died, she had been sitting among her reindeer in the pasture. This was a very local story of just one of the women in the fire. When I am in the presence of my woman in the fire, I stop, think and contemplate and undo all the mental constructs that enfold me. In her presence, time is not passing, time is coming, and I appreciate life until I am finished with life, as there is no separation in between acting and being, or at least there shouldn't be. Her fire burns the blinders, preventing me to see other visual fields. Her fire ignites my fire, where I can feel that life is truly all about energetic abandon, and I don't really meet a herd until a herd meets me. When our gazes meet, it is like meeting the dark side of the aurora, the side that sparks the darkness with all manner of alchemical stirrings. Her fire is medicine that brings my home and blood together. This is how she created me. I am of the fire. There is a woman in my fire. There is a woman in your fire. She is there to reclaim her inner burning fire, as once she got burned for that burning fire. She does not stay silent forever. She hides in the shadows, binding her time, and suddenly she plunges into vision. This woman has healing eyes that have been forged through necessity of centuries of wounds. Those eyes need to survive, to see and treat what the society cannot treat. These women in the fire, deemed abject by society at large, they live fiercely in the fire, in my fire, in your fire. They do not accept invisibility and death as their only fate. Look at me, she says, not too fast this time, not as fast as the fire burned me once. Now you take time to look at me. She visits to tender your hooves for the long life migration, where you will be struck by the utter insanity and marvel of life. Well, you merely start running towards the safe enclosure of fences to discuss of relationship or money problems and how busy everyone seemed to be, followed by the usual hammering hangover of the next day, a stack of emails, worries, stress over and over again. Or head towards the vast tundra, where you will stop collecting dust over the years, where you will hold the torch that will refine you and blaze the trail ahead, where you will lose relevance and find essence. How fierce is your fire?